And right now, there is, I'll say allegedly, that his party, the DCP, is saying they are kind of trying to be the only party in Mlima, that they're trying to like this is allegedly, are trying to like monopolize the, like how Baba has done with ODM.
Yes.
Try to do that in Central. So even if he's not president, he will have members of parliament from Mlima who he can sort of control. The same way we've seen. Baba is not in now it's broad-based government, but for this broad-based government to pass, Baba had to let his MPs know, or his members of parliament know, to support Ruto's people.
Yes.
Same playbook. I think that's what is going to happen.
So he's going to basically be selling the tickets, because that's a ticket that will be popular in Murima by 2027.
Yes, and he can tell, let's say, candidate X, hey, I'm bringing Mlima to you. This is what I want in return. We've seen that happening over and over and over.
So it's a business pretty much.
Exactly. And this is why I feel like the Mlima people, we need to step out of the whole Mtuwetu thing and see things for what they are. These people have been in government for years. What do we have as a people? And I'm not talking about Mlima, I'm talking about Kenya in general. Okay, so when that video went viral, we've seen even the government using it, like, Paula lie. I saw literally Moses Kuria cut the part where I said Kasongo Kasongo will be back. Literally cut that part and used that, right? And then we have all these people talking about Gen Z this, Gen Z that. But I feel, this is just me, I feel like, no, this is us. This is a collective feeling. We feel that they want to use, like I said, what we are saying, right? Even that one term, right? They want to use that one term.
Yeah.
But when it comes to really talking about the values that Gen Zs hold, which is tribeless, number one, fearless, two, and equity and equality, right?
Yeah.
Good leadership, good governance.
Leaderless meto.
Leaderless bado iko.
Leaderless ndio alianza nayo.
Ndio, leaderless bado iko. Hizo values, they are not that's where they draw the line when it comes to the values,
Yes.
And it's
and this is the One Mic Show. Karibuni. Now tonight we unpack the most unforgettable moments to come out of a diaspora town hall. Clips of a young woman confronting former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and former Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i have gone viral and set the internet on fire. But this, however, wasn't just a mic drop moment. It was the eruption of a deep frustration simmering within the Kenyan diaspora. The questions she asked on the use of Kikuyu in Kenyan branded events, on exclusion of Gen Zs, and on tribalism not only struck a nerve, but sparked debate and forced reflection far beyond the hall in Baltimore. But who is this young lady? For the regular fan of the One Mic Show, you've definitely seen her before. Last year during the Gen Z Revolt protests here in DC, she stood with a megaphone in hand and a voice unwavering as we marched to the Kenyan Embassy and IMF to demand accountability. She co-organized the protests with me and an army of many volunteers, and her leadership helped shape what became a defining moment of diaspora civic resistance. She then founded the 625 movement, a growing voice in diaspora youth engagement and an emerging civic disruption, who's clearly no longer being ignored. And then tonight, she returns to the One Mic Show, not just as a headliner, but as a guest with intent, vision, and a story to all that need to hear. So, ladies and gentlemen, please drop a fire emoji in the comments if we welcome the one, the only, the undisputed, the indefatigable Valentine Githae. Val, karibu sana, karibu sana. Are you ready to rumble tonight?
Yes.
Okay, are you ready to rumble tonight? Okay. Aya, karibu sana, karibu sana. Now, before we get started, Val, how does it feel coming back on the One Mic Show's hot seat? Like it was slightly over a year ago when you're here, but this time you're at the center of a national moment that helped unite and divide Kenyans in equal measure. Val.
It feels nostalgic, mixed feelings, right? So, and also it feels like it's a really eye-opening moment of foundational and fundamental issues rooted in the fabric of our nation. So, yeah, it feels weird. Like some people are, yeah, you're doing the right thing. And then there are some people who are, no, you're not doing the right thing.
Okay. All right. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. I can see Luis Muya is already tuned in. Luis Muya, karibu sana. Please type a comment and let us know where you're tuned in from, what city, what state, what country you're tuned in from. I can also see Mato Da Forster Thuo is also tuned in. Karibu sana Mato. Please type up and let us know anything you wanted to ask Val. You wanted to know about what happened, the reaction that came from the media frenzy, and the two different sides. They were all clipping that soundbite and describing it in their own way. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. Before we continue, I want to welcome my co-host here, DJ Omosh Fire. DJ Omosh Fire is also in the building. He was missing in those two town halls. The Matiang'i town hall, missing in action. The Gachagua town hall, missing in action. Maybe DJ Omosh Fire can explain himself. DJ, karibu sana.
Sema niaje?
Poa, karibu. So people are asking me about you. Me, I was like, Allah, kwani he's in my luggage. I don't know where he is.
Something you need to realize, Ali, is the same way that they were asking for me when I wasn't there from you. It's the same way they ask of you when I go somewhere else and you're not there.
Wow. Okay.
So
fair enough.
This is nothing surprising.
In a fun way,
fair enough.
in a serious way.
But
to participate,
basically, kusema ukweli, sisi watu wa broad-based tulikuwa tu tunaangalia vitu na tunaona mapolicy.
Okay.
Zinaenda.
Okay, so now you're revealing that wewe ni mtu wa broad-based.
Never said anything otherwise.
Okay.
Sijasema mimi si mtu wa broad-based. I've never said mimi ni... I'm just saying sisi watu wa broad-based, meaning inaonekana na support hiyo broad-based.
Okay.
Yes.
The number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. I can see salams from Samrak Apo on YouTube. Karibuni sana watu wa YouTube. And then I have Gold Trigger. I love that name. Gold Trigger tuning in from Baltimore. So I don't know, if you're going to pull that trigger. Gold Trigger is tuned in from Baltimore and he's dropped the fire emojis. The number to call, 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. Now, Val, before we go to what happened at the RiggyG and Matiang'i town halls right here in Baltimore, because they were a week apart from each other. People are even forgetting that because they've been seeing so many clips.
They were both in Baltimore, right?
They were both in Baltimore, yes.
But
that's a stronghold.
That wasn't the original.
So Baltimore, for RiggyG's, Baltimore wasn't the original venue. The original venue was in Lanham.
Yes.
And I think, Bandio is also on panel tonight. Later on, he can tell us. There are people who actually went to the Lanham location.
Correct.
The people went to the Lanham location.
And were seated and waiting. Or were they outside?
No, I think
the place was closed.
It was empty.
Yes.
Yeah, because there was no proper announcement on the change of venue. Yeah? And on that note, before we go back to Val, let me welcome Ubelwa Bandio, who's also on panel tonight. Bandio was present in both the Matiang'i town hall and the RiggyG town hall.
Wait a minute. You mean that we now have a...
No, you don't have it.
We are bongo supporters of Kenyan politics.
Yes,
politicians.
Now we'll find out if he's a supporter of Kenyan politics, or if he's a supporter of Matiang'i,
Ama is a mole.
or if he's a supporter of RiggyG.
Anaweza kuwa mole. Unajua we have issues with Suluhu.
Mole wa Suluhu.
Yes, because she basically has a Suluhu for us.
Yes, okay. Yes, we'll find that out.
So possibly he could be a mole.
Bandio karibu
sana.
Does
he normally wear green and
Bandio
yellow?
Karibu sana. Huyo Mosha anaongea sana na hakuwepo.
Polish.
Yeah. Karibu sana. So Bandio, the meeting was supposed to be originally the original flyer was Lanham, was a church in Lanham, Maryland.
Yes.
And then it was changed to the Hilton at BWI in Baltimore. And we were actually on the phone with you. A number of people had actually gone there. Talk to us about that and what you thought about what was happening on that day. Bandio.
I don't know what happened that day, but it was just a mess, You don't plan for event like that. And then when I called the guy who's one of the organizers, the guy that they gave us, I'm not going to mention the name.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, yeah, you didn't see the change of date and venue. It's all over social media.
All over.
Which social media?
What is all over?
And then what I did, I just went straight to Gachagua's official page, and there was nothing. The only thing I could see was just picture of him and
Matiang'i.
Yes.
Earlier that day.
Yes. And I'm like, knowing that you've been announcing about this for a couple of weeks, you'd expect to have a lot of this going on, rotation and stuff, and nothing was there. So to me, that was sign number one. There was so many things that I observed as somebody who's been covering campaigns for 21 years, minor in political science, and with no side to take. There was a lot in those two conferences, those town halls, supposedly. I mean, they were named as town halls, but those meetings with diaspora.
And that's something that we're going to talk about. Were those town halls or were they speeches?
They were engagements.
Yes.
That's a story for
Yeah,
another
so
day.
that's a story
They
for
were
another day.
engagements.
Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. That's Mubelwa Bandio. Again, the number is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. We're going to find out who will be the first caller tonight. But I want to go back to Val. Before we even get to what happened at the RiggyG and Matiang'i town halls, people have one burning question. You know, like people who are talking to me once we had posted this flyer, they were asking me, who exactly is Val Githae? Because people are starting to get curious. And what is the 625 movement really about? Val Githae,
Yes,
take this
so
home.
I am Val Githae. I am a member of the 625 movement. So 625 movement means June 25th movement. If you remember last year, between June 18th all the way to June 27th, there was a lot of deaths from the Ruto regime. So in order to remember those Shujas who lost their lives, we decided to name our movement that, to
Okay.
commemorate them. So we have been doing civil education grassroots.
Okay.
We have been partnering with the Pan-African community to talk about Kenyan issues and Kenyans' involvement in the African continent, be it in Sudan, be it in Haiti, be it in the DRC. But we are young Kenyans here who care about Kenya, Kenyans here, Kenyans in the US, Kenyans in their diaspora, and we want to fight for human rights. That's our main goal, human rights.
Okay. And for people who maybe, is this an organization where people can get membership, people who want to join or who want to know more about what you're doing? Is there like a place where they can go maybe online on social media? Where can they find you?
Yes, they can find us on Instagram at the 6.25 movement. They can we have a website, the 625 movement on, and they can fill out the form to be a member. They can reach out to us through through Instagram so that we can add them to the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
There's no fee or anything.
Okay.
We work on a volunteer capacity.
Okay, so no QR codes, no pay $50 here.
No.
There's
or
no cash app,
no
hakuna
cash app,
nini,
Zelle.
envelopes,
Okay, brown
ones,
envelopes and all
yellow,
that stuff.
Puerto Rican.
Apana.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sawa. I want to welcome, like Lawrence Kihanya, Baba Hanya, all the way from Baltimore, Karibu Sana. And I can also see Brenda BK all the way from Houston, Texas. Please drop a comment. Let us know where you're tuned in from. Let us know what you want to hear from Val tonight. And the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. Now, later on, if we find the clips, we're going to play the clips, the audio clips of Val and what she said in the meetings for those maybe who have been living under a rock and have not seen these viral videos. So we're going to do that later on. And then there was a lot of backlash, Val, from your community. And by your community, I mean the people of the mountain.
Watu wa Murima?
Yes, there was backlash
Haya.
that came. Because part of what you said was you questioned why there was the use of Kikuyu in an event that was branded as a Kenyan event. Any Kenyan could come in. So you questioned that. And that was at the very beginning of the meeting, so because a lot of people are seeing this clip, they don't realize that this was at the very beginning of the meeting, even before RiggyG spoke. And then there was also a DCP t-shirt moment because RiggyG was issuing the luminous green DCP t-shirts and capes, and you were photographed, like
Smiling
receiving,
hard.
receiving one of
She
those
received.
t-shirts.
She received. But I thought that was an exchange.
Yeah, so and that's what she's going to tell us about. And then there was a lot of media frenzy. Did it feel like people were reacting to you or what you represented? Or how exactly did you feel when this reaction started coming? Because it was immediate. Right after the meeting, we're already seeing activity on social media. Tell us more about that, Val.
Yeah, I think so. What happened is when we went there, we went like Kenyans, like Gen Zs, Zillennials. I per se did not have any intention of saying what I said. That was not part of the plan. We were just gonna go in and wait till the Q&A session so that we can ask the questions we came in with. But when I noticed that they were singing Kikuyu, I looked around and I noticed there are people I know, couple of them who are not from Mlima. And when I noticed the MC speaking also in Kikuyu, I was like, this is not right, because is this a Kikuyu event or is this a national event? If this was a Kikuyu event, it is okay to speak Kikuyu.
Yes.
But that was not branded as a Kikuyu event. So I think zangu tu zikanishika. And I was like, let me just tell them, use this moment to say the truth. And at that particular time, when I was looking at RiggyG, I want him to understand, and I needed him to understand that if he keeps this strategy that he's using, because he's trying to consolidate Mlima, right? That is his plan. But at the expense of what, right? It's like he does this high cousins thing. He does it in Ukambani. Then he comes back to Mlima. Then he tries to go to where else has it been, in Narok, right? Then he tries the same thing, and then he goes back to Mlima, but he keeps focusing so much on the mountain and forgets that they're the rest of the leaders. And we love the opposition that he's bringing, right? We need that kind of opposition, because right now there is no politician who's actively calling out Ruto like him.
Yeah.
So he is doing a good job with that. But at the same time, he needs to be able to bring the whole, unite us instead of dividing us. I think when I got there and I realized, this guy is acting more like a kingpin, trying to be more like a kingpin, but then he's trying to position himself as being with all Kenyans. It's a bit which is which, be a Kenyan leader. But then I had watched the Boston speech.
Yes.
And I didn't like what was said in the Boston speech.
And what was said there that you did not like?
Well, okay, so what was said there is that the mountain people are industrious. They support the Kenyan economy. And the way it felt to me at that moment is, even if it's true or not, why would you say it? Because we have so many tribes in Kenya that are as hardworking as Kikuyu. Everyone is hardworking in Kenya. Like, you take a Kenyan anywhere in United States or in the diaspora, they succeed regardless of their tribe. So I felt like that moment was a bit stereotypical, especially coming from a national leader. It's like how whites will be like saying, we have a high IQ. But they don't say that other people don't have a high IQ. Yeah. But they are pretty much trying to say,
okay, but the way it comes out.
The way it comes out.
Now Val, there's people who've argued, and then this is not part of what we're doing here is to try to get all the different narratives that are out there and conversations that people are having. There are people who are saying, if, for example, because RiggyG is someone that people want to use to get rid of Kasongo, because I think unanimously overwhelming majority of Kenyans want Kasongo out. And now that he's been singing the one-time song, they feel like he's necessary to be there to be able to get Kasongo out. But then there's this argument that some people are making. If he moves out of that Morima conversation, what exactly is he telling people when he moves out of that mountain conversation? And I'm also actively thinking about myself. I hadn't followed him so much as the member of parliament of Madira constituency, so I personally did not have too much to say about him back then. But the question is, outside that I am protecting the mountain, like, what other message can he give people that is gonna resonate? So that's a question that some people are asking.
Well, I don't know what other message he can give. I mean, if I was him, I would try to start positioning not just myself and try to start shaping the fabric of the country, because he keeps saying that he's sorry for what he did, right? Which is there was a Gen Z who asked why we should trust him to tell us who to vote when he's the one who told us to vote for Ruto, right?
Yeah.
And then he apologized about that, right? Saying that he did not know and he was also tricked. And this goes back to last year. Is it that he did not know and he was tricked, or is it because he's out of government and is running this rampage?
Okay. Number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. DJ Tucha, been a long time. DJ Tucha is tuned in and saying, watching direct from Garbatula. Akina Moha say hi. So DJ Tucha anasema yuko Garbatula. Tucha, send us a selfie.
Leo Sheke atakuwa wapi?
Yeah, Sheke is also tuned in, but we don't know where she's tuned in from. If she's tuned in from Kiev, if she's tuned in from Malagasy,
she might be right outside Gaza,
or maybe she might be outside there. So please tell us where you're tuned in from. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. We have Val in the studio, and we also have Uno Mike, who is also absent without apology. But working remotely. Working remotely without talking
but
to HR.
Seriously, what is this, like 8 weeks?
Okay. Uno Mike, twende kazi.
Welcome to the One Mic Show.
Okay. Uno Mike, I think
he's up on mute.
yes, I think he's sleeping on the job even while working from home.
Anatumia thumbs.
I am on mute. I just joined in, so I'm trying to catch up.
Okay.
Karibuni sana, asanteni sana.
Okay.
And Val,
Yes.
I learned a new word today. Zillennials.
Yes.
Kaende.
Okay. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak, and you're tuned into the One Mic Show. I'm your host and producer, Ali Badawi. We are speaking with none other than Val Githae, founder of the 625 movement, whose voice and video clips have dominated headlines from both RiggyG's and Matiang'i's recent town halls in Baltimore. We'll shortly unpack whether these town halls truly address diaspora concerns, or if we were just used for props and as optics. Did our issues get airtime, or were we just part of the audience? We'll also ask, why is the Kenyan diaspora in the US so politically magnetic despite having very few votes? And more important, do we actually know what we want as the diaspora? And can we redesign maybe these town halls to create impact? We're going to be talking about that too. So keep it locked for that and more. And please drop a comment and let us know what you think and where you're tuned in from. Our lines are open, 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. I can see also Nonini Mgenge True is in the building. Nonini anasema, let me be the devil's advocate. People honestly believe one term is going to sit and watch an election get him out. We need to be a little bit serious. Our electoral system has never been democratic. The last time people did it free and fair was first time ya Obako. Kwanzia second term into kitu haijawai kuwa legit. So Nonini Mgenge True, sharing some concerns there. But Nonini, tell us the way forward. What exactly should we do? Because your 2027 is knocking on the door. I know Tanzania this year has an election in October, but it looks like any independent observer watching from the outside
is that an election,
is thinking that Kenya is a country that has an election.
Nonini said something that I've been thinking about a lot. So unaona venye sahi Ruto is a tribalist. We know that already.
Yes.
Gachagua pia is running on that tribalism, right? Most leaders that we have are tribalists. I was thinking about two scenarios that might happen in 2027. And this is one of the reasons I was telling RiggyG. If he wants, because the enemy of our enemy is our friend. If we want Kasongo to go, right? If he positions himself as a national leader than a tribal leader, we'll be closer to the goal. Because if everybody starts saying, X is my leader, right, from this tribe. And then X is my leader from this tribe, and then X is my leader from this tribe. Even ndio Ruto atarudi.
Atapita katikati.
Atapita katikati. Because think about this, Aya. Let's say Gachagua fonts someone to run for presidency, right?
Yes.
Then the Gen Zs find someone to run for presidency.
Yes.
Or someone else who is supported by the Gen Zs. Then Ruto decides to run for presidency, right? Mlima will vote because, again, tribalism, tribal politics, will vote who Gachagua fronts, just like they did with Ruto, right? They voted Ruto because Gachagua was supporting him. Hizo ni votes zimeshaenda. Aya. Gen Zs now will vote whoever they, I don't know, Mutata or Maraga, whoever is going to be there at that moment, okay? And then now you have the rest of the country, because there are people who are still singing two-term, and there are people who are very strong about it. So all Ruto needs to do is look like he is winning. So even if he's not winning, when he brings that facade that he is winning, na kuseme kuwe na difference ya 600, 700 votes, they can easily steal that vote. Because that is what they've been saying. They're gonna, if you look at the elections, they're saying lazima wataingia 2027. So what are they planning?
But don't you foresee a scenario where, with all these candidates running, we might be in a situation where we do not have a candidate who hits 50% plus one? Is that a possibility?
That is a possibility.
Okay, so if he doesn't hit 50% plus one, that means he hasn't won.
Yes, but that's why I'm saying he has to act like he has to play that game, like to look like he's winning.
Yes.
So that hata yeye aibe hiyo kura afikishe hapo. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so he has to posture himself like he's in the lead.
Yes.
So that he can justify the results that that may be doctored.
Yes. Another risk too, again, this is if Ruto is if Gachagua is fronting someone, right? Again, because maybe he might font someone who the Gen Zs don't support.
Yeah.
Right? Another scenario is msishtuke. I know right now there is the Gachagua had this. They're trying to see if he can get on the ballot. Right? He was impeached, right?
Yes,
but they're trying to see if he can get on the ballot, right?
Yeah.
Msishtuke Ruto akikubali get on the ballot.
So as a Ruto project.
Not as a Ruto project, but to the advantage of Ruto, because then Mlima will try to vote for Gachagua.
But then if he gets on the ballot, doesn't he become, like a Ruto project, kind of what Kibaki did in 1992 and denied Matiba a chance at defeating Daniel Arap Moi?
And then we can phrase it like that, but...
Yani unasema divide and rule.
Yeah.
So 1992...
Basically saying split the vote and then the other chap goes in.
1992, there was no 50% plus one.
Divide and conquer.
Yeah, Moi was winning elections by 30-something percent. That's Moi was winning elections, and that worked at that particular time. So now, because you need 50% plus one, you have to figure out who you want to bring on board to get you to cross that
to 50,
line.
yes.
Yeah.
And then give you the one.
Now, another scenario is being said that Baba will get angry and bolt out of broad-based.
Okay.
Yes, like he did with Kanu back before the 2002 elections. So he will bolt out, and then Baba might also run.
Which means
these are possible scenarios.
Which means this vote is now split in four.
The vote is split
Even
in
ndio
four.
Ruto atarudi.
Juu kutakuwa na Gen Z, kutakuwa na Baba, alafu kutakuwa na Ruto, and then whoever can RiggyG and all of them.
But think about it, in such a scenario,
there is no 50 plus 1. There can't be.
There's no 50 plus 1.
Can't be.
But then, anyone who's top 3. You don't even have to be number 1.
So what are the rules for the runoff?
So the rules for the runoff, it's the top 2 candidates who will go on the runoff. Okay. However, think about it this way. Let's say Gen Zs have decided Kaende, and they all vote for Maraga. Let's even say, hypothetically, Maraga is number 1.
Okay.
Kasongo number 2. Baba number 3. So in such a scenario, runoff is Maraga versus Kasongo.
Correct.
Guess what? All that Ruto needs to do is just reunite with Baba again. Do another handshake.
Correct.
And like even with some of the comments that Ruto has been making, like the time he was telling Sifuna, we were the founders of this party.
We're the founders, yeah. We can come back and kick you out.
I will not be surprised if
ODM and UDA come together and have a MOU.
No, not.
I mean, have a new party.
No, not come together. Not come together. If UDA is dissolved
and absorbed within ODM.
Yes.
It's a possibility.
Because you know why that's a possibility.
Because ODM is the
because the way Kasongo is calculating, he's calculating that Baba is of advanced age.
Correct.
And he's looking to inherit Baba's base, because ODM right now doesn't have any natural successor. There's no natural successor in ODM.
Yes.
If something happened to Baba today, like ODM would be all over the place.
Yeah, it will be Splitsville, yes.
Yeah, it will be Splitsville. So
at
now,
least to us on the outside, unless they surprise us.
Yeah, so
at
now,
least that's what it looks like for us.
So now Ruto wants to come in, and now once you're firmly in with ODM, and then something happens to Baba while you're in ODM, guess who's the natural successor? It is William Samoei Ruto. Guess what voters William Ruto has inherited? He's inherited the Nyanza. Forget about Coast. Let's talk about Nyanza. Because Coast has not to go here and there.
It's a pretty big block.
Yeah, it's a pretty big block. Yeah. So he's looking to inherit that core base. And do you know who pulled this move many years ago? And it worked. Vladimir Putin. Remember Vladimir Putin, at some point, Russia had a term limit. Yeah, had a term limit of 2 terms. But after running for 2 terms, Putin strategically stepped back and allowed Medvedev to become president, then used Medvedev to amend the constitution, and now Putin came back. He's a president for life. So all that...
And Medvedev is his chap of security.
All that Ruto needs to do, if he gives Baba the presidency, even if it's just for 1 year, guess what? All Baba's base, and I'm talking about essentially Luo Nyanza, they're going to look at that scenario and say, we've been waiting for this thing from 1963. Because it's very emotional. Like I've been an ODM guy for a long time, so I understand.
There's a lot of
emotion.
Nyanza,
that's why
Nyanza has been locked out.
That's why I've not been quite as angry at people from there, because I've been in there, so I understand that emotion that's involved. So you've been waiting from 1963. That is more than 60 years, and then finally you give this guy a chance. So let's say he gives Baba a chance to be president, and then Baba, meets his maker. But before he meets his maker, they talk and they do a constitutional amendment. Because you see, there's talk of conclave and all this. All this is to amend the constitution. Part of what they want to do is to extend the term limit from 5 years to 7 years and increase it from 2 to 3. So think about it. If Kasongo takes a break in 2027, and then if it's Baba, whoever it is, and then he comes back in 2032 for a 7-year term. So he rules from 2032 to 2039. Then after 2039, he still has another term to go, because the constitution has been amended to 3 terms. 2039 to 2046. Omosh, how old are you going to be in 2046?
I think at that time, I don't think Val will be calling herself Gen Z.
These are scenarios. Number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5. Val, what do you think about that? These are political scenarios. These are possibilities.
Anything at this point, anything is possible. Uhuru was telling us shit about Ruto, and now today they were shaking hands.
There was a handshake.
So anything is possible. But you know what? I was also thinking about RiggyG, and actually, before I even jump to that, what you said is why I was telling RiggyG why he needs to be a national leader. Not that I'm supporting him and we are not supporting him, but if he continues like this, it will be so easy with all these scenarios we played out for Ruto to be president.
And he doesn't have to work.
He just
walks in.
It will be that easy. But also another thing is, I feel like and this is what Gachagua is doing, what RiggyG is doing. This is my assumption. So he's trying to consolidate Mlima, right? And right now there is this, I'll say allegedly, that he's his party, the DCP, is saying they are kind of trying to be the only party in Mlima that they're trying to like this is allegedly, are trying to like monopolize the, like how Baba has done with ODM.
Yes.
Try to do that in Central. So even if he's not president, he will have members of parliament from Mlima who he can sort of control. The same way we've seen. Baba is not in now it's broad-based government, but for this broad-based government to pass, Baba had to let his MPs know, or his members of parliament know, to support Ruto's people.
Yes.
Same playbook. I think that's what is going to happen.
So he's gonna basically be selling the tickets, because
Yes,
that's a ticket that will be popular
Yes.
in Murima by
Yes.
2027.
Yes, and he can tell, let's say, candidate X, hey, I'm bringing Mlima to you. This is what I want in return. We've seen that happening over and over and over.
So it's a business pretty much.
Exactly. And this is why I feel like the Mlima people, we need to step out of the whole Mtuwetu thing and see things for what they are. These people have been in government for years. What do we have as a people? And I'm not talking about Mlima, I'm talking about Kenya in general. These old legacy politicians, the narrative continues. Usishtuke hata Ruto na Gachagua akishake hands. Me at this point,
nothing will shock me.
Nothing will shock me.
Yeah.
And I know we are saying, Kikuyus, we are saying CCC tribal. Tulivotia Ruto na tuli support Raila. But how did that even come to happen? It's because there was a Kikuyu who was supporting them.
Okay.
Kama Gashogo, kama kungekuwa na Mkikuyu hapo, nadhani nani tungevotia either one. You know what I mean?
On Ruto's ticket.
Yeah.
If let's say he picked Kindiki.
Yeah. Or he picked, maybe Kindiki would have worked a little bit.
Still, he's mountainish.
He's
close to the mountain.
Close to the mountainish.
Yeah.
Maybe if
he had a non-mountainous
person.
Okay.
Let's say he had, let's say he had you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So a non-mountain person.
Who are you, this
Bongo
flavor guy?
Yes.
Kuna this Bongo flavor guy.
You see, so,
but anyway.
So, and this is why we are saying, until the biggest problem we have in this conversation, this trending video has really, for me, I've realized that we have it's deep. The tribalism, political tribalism is deep. And I'm not saying don't embrace your tribe.
It's so interesting to hear Gen Z saying this.
Yeah. It is.
Really, she hasn't lived the tribalism thing. You get what I'm saying?
But you see,
when
you
you think about it, tribalism as we know it.
You see, the problem is our politics from the time we got independence, from how we were organized, from
Yes.
the groups that went to Lancaster.
Yeah.
It goes that far back. They went by tribe.
By zones and areas where you
Yes.
came from. And that was done on purpose.
Yeah, and even when you look at the original counties, because Kenya had they were called districts then at independence.
Was it 8?
They were
8
all
provinces?
no, those are provinces. So there were districts.
Oh, yes,
because
yes,
we had two
provinces.
houses. We even had senators at independence.
Yes. Yeah, I remember.
But they were divided, like specifically ethnically. In fact, Meru and Tharaka-Nithi, they were one. It used to be one district. Kisii, Tharaka-Nithi. That's where votes are stolen.
Yeah, that's happened.
Yeah.
If you just say
Yeah.
Tharaka-Nithi,
Ukisikia Tharaka-Nithi,
you
ujua
just
kura
know
inaibiwa.
things are bad.
Yeah, ni
Start
kubaya.
running. Start
Yeah.
running.
And then Kisii and Nyamira were also one district.
Kisii was not divided. They didn't
It
have all
wasn't
those
divided.
other things.
Yeah.
All those west, right? No, it was
Yeah.
all Kisii was Kisii.
Yes. So that's how, like everything was organized, and unfortunately, that's how things continued in such that unakuta mtu hata ambaye hajaishi ushago, but when it comes to politics, they just understand that I am supposed to support this side because they're my tribe. He doesn't speak his language. They know nothing about, they know very little about their culture. But when it comes to politics, that one thing, they've been taught to look at these guys as the enemies and their people as their liberators. And the one thing that concerns me about the Gen Zs is that millennials, we were also being told at some point that, oh, we're the ones who are going to come to change Kenyan politics. It never happened. So I'm a bit jittery. I'm a bit concerned. I need to see numbers, like I need to wait. Gen Zs haven't quite registered yet to vote. I hope that registration is opened. Then I want to look at the results by age demographic in these by-elections, because this by-elections coming up, it's going to be like a mini election.
Yeah, but also it's very challenging. I'm hearing reports that it's getting difficult to register. I'm not quite sure why, but
it hasn't been opened. Apparently, it has not been opened for
also,
registration.
Yeah, and then also remember the ID pricing before. See, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. That's a poll tax.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's challenging. But then this is what so the problem with so when that video went viral, we've seen even the government using it, like Paula lie. I saw literally Moses Kuria cut the part where I said Kasongo will be back. Literally cut that part and used that, right? And then we have all these people talking about Gen Z this, Gen Z that. But I feel, this is just me, I feel like, no, this is us. This is a collective feeling. We feel that they want to use, like I said, what we are saying, right? Even that one term, right? They want to use that one term. Yeah. But when it comes to really talking about the values that Gen Zs hold, which is tribeless, number one, fearless, two, and equity and equality, right?
Yeah.
Good leadership, good governance.
Leaderless meto.
Leaderless bado iko.
Leaderless ndio alianza nayo.
Leaderless bado iko. Hizo values, they are not that's where they draw the line when it comes to the values,
Yes.
And it's pathetic. But to be able to get Kenya to where it has to get to, we have to address political tribalism.
Okay.
Tribal politics.
Politics, which is very entrenched.
Yeah. So and let me make this very clear. Mi sina shida, culture is good. We all come from somewhere, but it becomes very dangerous when it's used to divide us. And like you mentioned, all the way from colonization. So this is a tactic.
Yes.
So we start also by decolonizing our minds and also addressing the tribal issue. Because if we don't address tribalism, how are we going to address corruption? Because tutavote tu mtu wetu, and this has been the culture, right? We vote tu mtu wetu. What does the mtu wetu go do for you?
It will remain a poisonous pill.
Yes, and we will never move forward. And the cycle, unless we break this cycle, Kenya will stay the way it is or get even worse. Because right now we just found the super highway is not a national asset. Right?
Wow.
Nairobi Superhighway is not a national asset.
It's private. It's privately held. And the former president was, but anyway, that's a story for another day. Yeah.